When we talk about the greatest players and athletes of all time, Kobe Bryant is up there. And when he passed, he his passing didn't just shock, a small group. It didn't just shock, the NBA. It didn't just shock basketball. His passing shocked the world. His passing meant that much to people. It's just like, man, he's gone. Like he left. And I think the reason why is because what he did and what he put out to the court and we presented to all of us meant way more and way deeper than just basketball. The things that he taught us went way beyond the four lines of a basketball court. It went way beyond the NBA and beyond the locker room that he was in. And I think that he taught us life lessons through his life and through the things that he did and what he thought and his philosophy on life and philosophy on basketball. And many of us took that as things we can use in our lives. And I sat and watched different videos and movies of him and all these things from him. I think I've broke down 8 very key lessons that we've all been able, or we all should be able to take away from Kobe. So the first lesson I have is to not fight your emotions. Watching the Kobe Muse documentary that he had, he talked about how he would be so angry and he would have so much rage and that emotion bent up inside of him that he said instead of just like fighting it, instead of going against it, instead of just saying like it's wrong, but he channeled it into his game. So instead of just having emotions be sporadic and be everywhere, he said, okay, I'm pulling it all in and containing it to where it can just flow through this one channel right here. I'm going to make sure that with every emotion I'm feeling, I'm going to target it right here. So if it's happiness, I want to pull it down and target it right here. If it's anger and rage, I want to pull it in and target it right here. He didn't fight his emotions. He fought with them as a teammate, as an ally to where we're going to go into this battle and we're going to fight together. I'm not going to fight this game and fight these emotions too. You're going to be my partner in this, but we're going to fight this together. So I think we can all figure out how to not just fight our emotions or fight our mindset. How can we twist it and manipulate it to where it's our teammate, it's our ally? What can we do to make sure that when we sit down and think about what we're dealing with, how can we make that to where we embrace it and make sure that it's not a thing we're fighting against, we're fighting with, it's on our same side too. Lesson number two is that we should be curious. We should be creative and be interested into more things. We should have an inquisitive mind and just question more things. This man was far and above and beyond when it came to how can I make things operate for my better? How can I make this situation right here be a thing that I can use for my good? He made sure that I was so how can I how can I use this footwork right here and add it to my game? Usually guards would go to other guards on how to get better footwork. He said, You know what? Akeem Olajuwon, one of the best guys I've ever seen in the game of basketball with footwork. How can I let me talk to him and figure out what I can do to add to my game to be more efficient with my footwork. You know what? Elgin Baylor is one of the greatest players of all time. It doesn't matter what era he was in, he's one of the greatest of all time. What can I do to add to my game and do this here? You know what's crazy too? This guy in this and whole different sport is great. What can I do to add to my game to make sure I'm better? So he's always inquisitive. He was very creative with how I can improve and get better with the game. It wasn't just within the game of basketball. It wasn't just within his lane of his position that he was in. He took any route possible to add to his life and add to his game to where he was just like, how can I add this? How can this make sense? He took from other fields of life and other walks of life. He took from books, he took from movies, he took from TV shows, he took from different entrepreneurs and business owners and added to his game to make sure he was better. That only happened because he was curious and he was creative enough to go outside the box to pull back in to make it make sense for him. The next thing he left for us is he wanted us to think. He was a thinker. He always thought differently than what we thought we should be thinking. The fact that this man sat here and read the referee's rule book and said, "Okay, I need to know what the refs are, so now I can get away with the fouls. What can I get away with different fouls, and I can hit this guy, make this move, or if I need to, I can travel a little bit here because the ref's not looking at this. This ref's looking at this. This ref's looking at that, so I can get away with this move over here and channel this over here." He was always playing chess and not checkers. He was thinking the game at a different level, different round than we were or his competitors were because he was just always thinking and always maneuvering through 10 steps ahead from where everybody else was. It wasn't fair the way he was thinking because he was just on a whole nother level. That's the mom mentality thing. That's a whole nother level than what we're thinking about.
Look, let's be serious, man. Stop playing around. All right. You didn't got too comfortable. You didn't got relaxed. You forgot that you still got people behind you chasing you right now. You still got people to catch up to. You think just because you won a championship or you had a pretty good game last time that you can relax now. We ain't gonna write none of that stuff. Your goal right now is to look at how you were yesterday. Look at the player you were last night. Figure out how to be better than that person. Right now is you versus you. Your goal right now is to make progress in the person that you were last night, the person that you were yesterday. Be the person this week should be the person from last week. The person this month should be the person from last month. On the court and off the court. Personal development too. So right now, progress is the only goal. We ain't worried about what other people got going on. Focus on progress. It's you versus you. It's me versus me. So that right there is your mission. That's your goal. I don't care about who say the best in state is. Who I don't care about any of that. Your goal right now is to be better than you were yesterday. I don't care if you struggling to make the team. I don't care if you the last player they're looking at to make the team. We ain't worried about none of that. Your goal right now is to be better than you were yesterday. I don't care if you're the number one player in the nation. Could care less. Your goal right now is to be better than you were yesterday. So go ahead and get you one of these because you need that reminder because you got too comfortable. That's the issue. You got too comfortable. This can't get you comfortable right here. So go ahead, get you a reminder, get you like a flag hanging as a reminder. Say progress is on the goal.
He also thought from a different perspective and in a unique way of how he saw and thought things. Not only was he about being the best, this man changed the perspective of what the best meant. For a while, the best was really based off of Jordan. And a lot of people challenged and went after the mantle or the standard that was Jordan. And I think 99% of us can agree that he's the only player that actually come close to like doing that. One of the few that said, I'm challenging number 23 over there in Chicago. And he was one of the few that actually went out there and was able to like actually do that. And he changed the view of how we saw greatness. Most people don't throw Kobe in there, but we had to because of how dominant he was and how he changed the view and how his perspective of things shifted. He saw things not as a weakness or not as a problem. He saw them as a challenge and opportunity. He changed the view and changed perspective for how things were. And I think he changed the way we saw work ethic and the way we saw competition. The funny thing is, people think that people think Kobe loved to win. I don't think Kobe loved to win. I don't think that you went through what he went through and the mindset that he had just because you love winning. I think he loved to compete. I think he loved the process even more than he loved winning because win or lose, he would still go out and train and practice and work more on his game. So winning didn't fulfill him. I think him going through the steps of going through the process fulfilled him because he knew that progress on the go, shameless plug, that I had to keep getting better. So the process of what I need to do to get better fulfilled him more. And then his mindset on how it came to getting better was so different. Go back to him having different perspective. He didn't just compete with guys. He said, okay, the fact that everybody, I'm 8 years old, 7, 8 years old, nobody can control with their left hand. So I'm going to make everybody else go left. And I'm going to get better with my left hand to where you can't use that against me either. So not only did he compete, but he was very thoughtful and changed perspective how he viewed things as a competitor. Not only am I going to outwork you, but I'm going to break this thing down into like a 10-year plan of how to get better. Each summer, I work on one specific thing to add to my game each summer. So one summer it was jump shots. Next summer it was post ups. Next summer it was ball handling, maybe a specific move or two. Next summer it was mid range. Next summer it was that. So over a 5-year span, he increased his game 5 different times in 5 different areas. Not only was he outworking you, but he was strategic with how he outworked you. His mindset was just different. He was so patient with how he saw competing and outworking guys. So it's just crazy that we look at things and it's like we're working hard, but we don't have the full view of how hard we should work and how to embrace the full scope of how to work hard and what it really means to be diligent, not just work for like 5 seconds or 5 weeks or 5 months. This man will break down to 5 years and say, okay, this time I'm adding this, next time I'm adding this. We get frustrated after 5 weeks about planning our working out and going the right way. So I think that that's where he separated himself, and it's like, bruh, not only am I a competitor and I want to demolish everything right now, but I'm going to be diligent with my workout, and I'm going to work hard within this span. Like he had daily sprints with his workout, so he ran a marathon of the long game, but every day he gave it all he had and make it a sprint. The next day, sprinted. Next day, sprinted. Each workout with each stint within he did was a sprint. He was so diligent and so long term view with his workout and his work ethic, and he was so short term with the competition and how to be demolishing right now in this moment that he had a different perspective and different view of how to compete and how to be the next level of working out and how to get better. And with all of that,
Hey, relax. It's okay. Listen, I understand that your goal is so big that it just feels daunting. It just feels overwhelming. Like you trying to get to the NBA, you trying to get to WNBA, you trying to play D1 college ball. I understand. Sometimes that feels like a lot. But listen, you're not gonna make that jump from now tomorrow to be to the league or be in D1. So let's just slow down and focus on the whole journey. Enjoy where you're at right now, but don't get too comfortable. You have to still keep working. You still have to make some type of progress and still keep growing. All you gotta do is think about this. If the minimum I can do today is get 1% better, you winning. Because there are some people gonna take a step backwards. There are some people that's gonna stop and just be equal. But technically you're not gonna be equal because I'm getting better than you, so it means you fell backwards now. And so you gotta get 1% better. Because it's a slow grind from where you're at now to where you want to get to. You don't have to worry about taking over the world in one day. Just take over step by step, one piece at a time, 1% better. It's a whole journey. Okay, you got this goal that's just hanging over you, weighing you down. But this goal, the end destination, it's not gonna change. So you have to appreciate the journey and taking steps to get there. You're a marathon runner, but the whole marathon is about focusing on that next step. So I need you to go ahead and look at whichever one you want. You can get this one of the other ones. But I need you to get this reminder for you. Get you a hoodie, a t-shirt, whichever one, as a reminder that progress is my only goal. And progress don't mean I'm perfect. Progress don't mean I'm there. Progress means I'm getting better. Because better and better adds up to being the best you that you can be. But the best is not existing because you're always going to get better. So get you this peaceful reminder right here to say, hey, all I gotta do is be a little bit better, 1% better, and I'll get to that goal at some point. So remember, it's about the entire journey and not just the end goal. Because progress is the only goal.
brings us number six to where he would be a great teacher. He once he retired, officially, he said, I'm gonna pour back out all these lessons, things I've learned, and give to the Kyries and give to the Devin Bookers and give to the next guys up to where you guys can just have what I had. The game you want here, you got it. LeBron, you want to learn how to do this? Cool, I got you. D Wade, have it, bro. It's yours. Do it. I ain't got no more. He was a teacher. He was a thoughtful leader that whatever I have, I'm pouring back into the next generation. Not only did it with the guys, but he was like, you know what? I'm going to pour into my daughter too and her teammates. I'm going to pour into the next generation of young ladies that say they want to play basketball, say they want to be great. You want to go to UConn, want to play South Carolina, cool. Sounds cute. But this is what you got to do to get there. He taught them the ways of greatness, the ways of how to make the mall mentality, not just a basketball thing, it's a way of life. He installed that mindset, installed those disciplines, installed those habits to them as a great teacher. So it wasn't just him being great. He said, "Let me take my hat off of me being great, put my teacher hat on, and pour it to the next generation, and give it to you guys next too." But with that, he was still always a student. Quick to call up Jordan, and be like, "Yo, what's up? I need how to do that fadeaway? All right, cool, boom. Call Jerry West up. How to do this? Okay, boom. He called Chris Paul up. He called AI up. He would call whoever. If you specific things, he's like, okay, you're great at getting off the dribble pick and rolls. How do you do that? What are you doing? I remember he called D-Wade up. I think that's what he called him about, like, "How you do this thing on pick and rolls?" And he was like, "Alright, cool, got you, bet." He would call AI up on how to do this. He would call different players up. He was always being a student and absorbing game. He never knew it all, but he knew enough to know, "I don't know anything." And so he will always be in student mode and trying to learn more about the game and learn how can I get better? How can I add this? How can I add that? He never got complacent and said, I'm the know it all. He would be in student life. Once he retired and started getting into books and to shows and everything, he said, let me call the greatest up and be, how can I get better? What can I learn from you guys to say, hey, I need help doing this. I need help doing that. How are you doing this? He called Oprah up and got game from her. How can you do certain things? Tyler Perry, he called the people up who are already great in this field, got game from them, pulled it back to his lane and accelerated because he was a student. And next, he was always great with the details, man. He will always go in depth. He will always get into the nitty-gritty of details of things. This man took his shoe and took centimeters off to make sure it was accurate for how he needed. Who thinks maybe, let me go from 14 to a 13 and a half to make sure it's better, or let me, you know, change from a narrow shoe to a wider shoe to make things like that. We could think about that. But who thinks about the centimeters to make sure that my foot is as top tier performance wise of what I need? Like who thinks of that, bro? Who thinks that in depth to just say centimeter like that's still trip off of that, man. And it's like it's crazy because he thought so big, but then broke down things to so much depth. Like he thought so big to say, man, I'm going after Jordan, but I'm detailing how I want to do it. Like I'm going after him, and people thought that was people thought he was foolish and silly to say, "Ah, you can't go after Jordan. What are you talking about, brother? You can't do that." And he actually did it. He followed through with it. Like, that's crazy enough on its own. Like I don't think people understand how crazy that was on its own. So he really changed what it meant to study the game, what it meant to study um what it meant to study your craft and be a for real student of the game. Going back to being a student, like I said, my last point, he was open minded to learning from Phil and learning the way of the Zen master of how can I adapt what you're teaching me and apply it to my game so I can be better. He would really go outside of the box and say, okay, this is what I've learned from Phil. I need to go from the 1, 2 levels that he taught me and go 10 levels deeper and really excel now. Going back to having their perspective and being different, like he would say, okay, I need my footwork is not right. My ankles aren't the strongest. What can I do? Outside the box thinking now, let me go in depth and like, okay, who have the best feet and the best ankles? Dancers. Let me take tap dancing and a little bit of ballet to get my foot and ankles right. Who thinks of that depth to do that? Kobe does. That's who does. That thinker over there, back to my other point, he used to think he really thought the game, not just thought about it, but thought in depth. That's who Kobe was. Like he really transformed how this man would play horror music to get his mind in the right space for a game. Most people listen to Jay, Lil Wayne, Kanye, Kendrick, J. Cole, Future. We listen to whoever to get ourselves in a certain space. Snoop Dogg, NWA, Ice Cube, whatever. Who says I'm listening to horror music to get my mind right for it? Who does that? Who? Kobe. That's who. That's just funny to me, man. And I think that we have to sit back and appreciate that too, because he thought so in depth about how can I optimize my mental to get to the best space possible. And then he exhausted all options, all possibilities of how can I improve my game and get better. So when he retired, he said, I'm not mad about it, man. I exhausted all options. I was so obsessed for 20 years to figure out how can I be better and get healthy that when it's all said and done, I had nothing else to say, nothing else to prove. He thought that depth and thought that detailed about, okay, my shoulder's messed up. I need to go all the way to Germany to get this right. My knees messed up. I need to go all the way over here to get this right. He cared about his stuff that much that he said, okay, all right, go here and do this. And it was so detailed. I'm a I can go all day about this, man. But Kobe taught us so many lessons that we should just one of these lessons would really change our lives and really have us thinking uniquely about our own perspective of what we're doing here. So, let me know what lesson struck the nerve with you and hit you the most. Of like, yeah, that's the big thing I remember Kobe for, man. Like that was what the thing that I took from Kobe. So if I'm forgetting something, man, let me know. Please let me know because Kobe has. I condensed it down to 8, but I probably could have added 10 more of this and went more in depth, like I talked about more in depth about any one of them, and added 13 more of these and whatever. So let me know what you guys think, man. What's your favorite lesson you got from Kobe? What's something that I'm forgetting that you guys thought about, or what's your favorite one that you have that you don't think anybody else heard of, or you haven't heard from anybody else, man? But uh, shout out to Kobe, bro. Like, man, I still wish he could be here, man. That was I'm a big Kobe guy, huge Kobe. That's my all-time favorite player. Um, if you know me well enough, you know how far back I go with Kobe, man. So, this is just another small piece of showing my respect for him, man, and everything he meant to me in my personal life and my basketball game. And shout out to him, man. Uh, my mentality, everything, man. So shout out to Kobe. Thank you, Kobe, for everything you did. Thank you to Vanessa Bryant for being supportive of him for his whole life and everything, man. So, but that's it. That's the end of this video. Um, be like Kobe and have your own lessons. That's why I end this song. Be like Kobe and have your own lessons. So comment below what you feel like you got from Kobe, whatever lessons you got from him, man. But that's it. Appreciate you.